Look who's over there. It's Donald. I love Donald. And over there is the band. Mickey. And there is coffee. It's so early that there's still tables available. I got a grande vanilla latte with an extra shot, which I really, really need. Hey everyone, welcome to the C&J Art Adventure and Family channel. So this video has been a long time coming. It took place in September and I am finally finishing editing it in January 2025. 2024, I have to say, was definitely the most painful year of my entire life. And let me set the scene for when this day took place. So September 22nd, 2024, that was less than 2 months after my brother's passing, and it was also less than a week before I would be returning home to Argentina to my husband and stepson. And by the time I would return to Argentina, it would have been in total 8 months away from them. And the time between my brother's passing and my return to Argentina had been spent taking care of all my brother's possessions, getting it all in order for either being donated or given away or eBayed. And so that basically proved to be a full-time job. And as my time grew short in the United States, I was not at all sure that I would finish everything. And you might wonder, why did I need to do that at all? Two things: because my brother wanted me to use his possessions to make life easier for my husband and I. And also, I just felt it was my duty to treat his things with respect, because all those things meant a lot to him. And I know after he was gone, he probably did not care anymore, but I just felt it was my duty to take care of his things and treat them with respect. In a way, it was like I was still taking care of him. But one thing I wanted to do just for myself was to go back here, to spend some time back in one of my favorite places in the entire world. And so it was a strange transitional time for me. And I remember sitting in my aunt and uncle's car that very morning around 7 a.m. and just bawling. I mean, just truly bawling my eyes out, because I was extremely sad and extremely happy and just so full of, just so overwhelmed with emotion that I couldn't contain it. And I couldn't really process it either at that time. Because for one thing, I made the very, very horrible mistake the very day before when we were in DCA of drinking a little too much caffeine, because after all the stressful days leading up to this trip and a few 16-hour days in a row, I really needed a strong coffee, but it was too strong. And so I didn't know how I would do. It was a bit of a bummer to start the day sleepless, basically. But I surprised myself. I did amazingly well on next to no sleep. I think it's maybe the magic of Disney. I don't know, but I was determined to enjoy my last day in the park, and I definitely did. Also, I was running on adrenaline and fumes, and I was just so used to going all the time that the time for processing my emotions would come once I got back to Argentina.
There was Resistance desperately needs your help in our fight against Kylo Ren and the First Order. Remember, it is vital that you keep the location of the Bakara base secret.
We can't! We're caught in a tractor beam! It's pulling us in!
Shall be interrogated separately.
You chose the wrong side, and now you will pay.
Hurry and don't get caught! Hey, you're not authorized! Wait! It goes to the president!
Escape pods came in a little off target. Ground crew will meet you outside the wreck.
Great job, recruits! Thanks to your heroism, the location of the Resistance base is secure. Bravo! Yes, R5, you too.
I remember my aunt and uncle that morning advising me to take it easy that day because they knew I hadn't slept. So they were advising me, don't run around as much, don't take as many photos, just enjoy being there. And that's exactly what I did. You know, even though I had Tiny Richie with me, I really didn't feel the need to take as many photos as I had been. And mainly I just enjoyed being there, you know, because this was my 4th time in Disneyland, and it was my 3rd time by myself. And so I was just enjoying being there, and especially by myself. Like, that was just the most wonderful feeling, you know. And oh my god, sleepless or not, it was just wonderful to be there. I just so loved it. Oh my god.
복잡한 머리는 식히고 내일 일은 내일의 나에게 맡기면 되겐 잘해낼 테니까 모퉁이 자리 한 내 단골 편의점 캔맥주 한
my god, it's Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. What better place to rest but here for about 15-20 minutes.
널 만나기 전 누군 날 위해 노래한 적 없어. 길어지는 대화 속 정신 못 차린 입이 웃고 있어. 모든 말에 내게 꿈깨래 분명 실망할 테니 수빈 무의미해 네 매력은 또 변화구를 던져. 가슈 그 누구보다 눈이 참 예뻐. Yeah you 그 누구보다 사랑스러워. Yeah you 찾아 헤매이던 내 반쪽. I feel so free. Oh my sweet baby. 널 만나기 전 난 일만 했지 워커홀릭 라이프스타일. 매일 지루했지 난 쳇바퀴 위에 성실한 햄스터. 너의 등장에 나 비로소는 더 다양한 세상의 색채. 너로 인해 변해가. 가슈 그 누구보다 눈이 참 예뻐. Yeah you 그 누구보다 사랑스러워. Yeah you 찾아 헤매이던 내 반쪽. I feel so free. Oh my sweet baby. 정민 방 안에서 울려 퍼지는 기타 들려주고 싶어. 내 진심을 다 이미 알고 있어. 너의 옆자리 주인은 나. Cause you 그 누구보다 눈이 참 예뻐. Yeah you 그 누구보다 사랑스러워. Yeah you 찾아 헤매이던 내 반쪽. I feel so free. Oh my sweet baby. Cause you 그 누구보다 눈이 참 예뻐. Yeah you 그 누구보다 사랑스러워. Yeah you 찾아 헤매이던 내 반쪽. I feel so free. Oh my sweet baby.
I'm at the Mint Julep bar. I am finally trying Mickey shaped beignets. I love this bottle topper. Look at that, that would make a great gift. It's $20.
Someone made up, but your treasure we were going to give you.
I was Rainbow Bushes.
I'm not
Always
happy.
good to see you, baby.
I love seeing you. You're my favorite pirate.
runs up next year.
It's really hot, so I'm getting some ice cream. I found a cool spot to enjoy my root beer float. So on this day, I did a lot of things that I really wanted to do one last time before leaving the States, and things that I normally didn't do, like seeing this flag lowering ceremony. I've always been kind of curious about it, but you know, it's not something you really have to see. But it was interesting. Like I did wonder, how would Disney do this? And yeah, now that I've seen it, I don't think I'll ever have to see it again.
Out of my head, why won't you tell me? Your body fell out of the bed. Why should I stay? Calling me every time, calling me. Search for me, pull back your hand from me. Oh, say everything falls, even the stars. Say but I still recall into the start. You pulled your hand out through your hair, asked me to follow. And I'll do whatever I can, but I'm just a man. Yeah. Say everything falls, even the stars. Say but I still recall into the stars, into the stars. Everything falls, even the stars. Everything falls, yeah, even the stars.
Looks like it's time to assign some recon. See you soon, traveler. Affirmative.
Who's that, dude?
We have eyes on you.
Which way do we go?
Step over here.
I got eyes on you! I have eyes everywhere!
Enjoy your day. Goodbye.
So it had been a really long time since I'd had a churro in Disneyland, and I had been wanting one really, really bad, and I don't remember why I didn't get around to getting one before. I think there was just too many things to try, and so that day I made sure to get one. Actually, I got not only one, I got two. I got a little greedy, I guess. And as I was thinking, where do I want to sit down and eat these? I thought Galaxy's Edge, Millennium Falcon. And so I made my way back there with my 2 churros, and I found a bench and I people watched as I enjoyed my churros. And they were super good, of course. And we do have churros here in Argentina, but they're pretty different. They usually have dulce de leche inside, or they're covered in chocolate. And they're much denser than the ones you have in Disneyland. So I'm really curious to see what my husband and my stepson will think of the churros there, whether they'll love them or they'll be like, no, these are not churros. Where's the dulce de leche? These are not churros. I'm sure they'll love them. Anything sweet will be fine, but I couldn't finish them, unfortunately. Like, I tried really hard, but I think I just 2 churros at once was a bit too much. And so I finished 1.5, and then I had to call it quits. I think Galaxy's Edge is always going to remind me of my brother Richie, and I'm not really sure why, because we only went there once together. And all the time we were growing up, we were always in all the other parts of the park. And yet when I go around everywhere else, I'm not inundated by memories of my brother. Maybe it's because it's so fresh in my mind. I mean, relatively fresh. I don't know. I was trying to remember memories of us that I could share in Disneyland. And the first story that comes to mind is not a memory of mine. It's actually a memory that my brother told me while we were in the hospital. He told me about this one time that we all went to Anaheim, and my father got him a ticket, and they were going to go to Disneyland. And for some reason, my dad decided that my brother could not go. And so my brother was crying and pleading and begging my dad to let him go into the park. And he couldn't remember why my dad did that. And I don't remember my brother mentioning this at the time. And so I did not know about this story until last year. And I was just like, why? Why would our dad do that? You know? And he, of course, is just as clueless. But that was the kind of thing that our dad would do, of course. And it just made my heart hurt so bad for my brother. You know, to have a ticket to Disneyland and be at the front gate but not be allowed to go in because our a-hole of a father decided for some strange reason that they needed to do something else instead. You know, it was just, our father would often do bizarre things like that. There was no rhyme or reason to some of the things he did. Sometimes it was simply to be cruel, you know? And I wonder if that was one of those things. But eventually my dad did relent, thank God. So my brother was able to go to Disneyland that day. But, you know, just that image of my brother begging and pleading to go inside the park and not being able to go inside, you know... My family was very dysfunctional, obviously.
You make me feel so unreal. You make me feel so unreal. We can live a dream. We can be so unreal.
So another of the things that I wanted to do that day that I had never done before is get a first row seat for Fantasmic, or as close to front row as possible. Unfortunately, these ladies with tiaras were right in front of me. And so I found a spot right by the water, and I didn't even think that I had my DJI camera with me, which is not waterproof. I didn't even have my other older camera with me. And still, even if I had thought of that, I still would have done this because I really wanted a front row seat. And all the other times that I've caught Fantasmic before, I've always been way off in the back and I've only caught bits and pieces of it. So all in all, I think I waited an hour there before the show started, and I did think now and then that I could be using this time to get on another ride or to look through more shops and so on, but I just really wanted a front row seat. And I'm really glad I did because I needed to sit down as well and just take it easy. And I don't think I would have been able to catch this footage otherwise. Ironically, I was not able to record the entire show because, as I mentioned earlier, my DJI camera is not waterproof, and so I just caught the highlights. But I figured I've already caught enough footage of the other parts of the show from other locations. So all in all, I did get the entire show if I put all the footage together, which I have in a separate video, which I will link below. Side note on what I was talking about earlier about my brother. We did have a really difficult childhood, and our parents were undoubtedly not ideal. They could have done a much better job, but I guess they did do the best they could. I don't know what else to say about that. But I remember talking to someone at his wake, and they said that all the time they knew my brother, he never let on how difficult his childhood was. And I also remember another friend saying that they never heard him say a single negative thing about anyone. And so that was my brother. That was the person I took care of in 2024 and who I was mourning at this moment in the park. And yeah, this whole video is turning out. I did initially plan to just do a video about that day in the park, but there was more going on. I was dealing with loss, and so that was just ever present with me that day in the park. So right after Fantasmic, I raced over to do Pirates of the Caribbean, of course, just like everyone else. And I think I waited only 10 minutes. And then I raced over to Big Thunder and rode that. And then I walked over to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And for a relatively slow day, I did manage to do a good number of rides. I did 12 rides in total that day and 2 shows, Fantasmic and the flag lowering ceremony. And so that was pretty good. I didn't expect to do that many rides. But I think the key is to do as many rides in the morning and just before it closes as possible. And I made the mistake of rushing to Rise of the Resistance first thing. That line, I think, would have been pretty much the same all day long. So what I should have done is go straight to Fantasyland and do all those rides, as many of those rides as possible. But I don't know, I was thinking Rise of the Resistance would be a much shorter line first off, but it was like a 40-minute wait, pretty much. So the next time we go, which is relatively soon, I think what we should do is go straight to Fantasyland and get all those rides out of the way.
I never will, like climbing up the steepest hill. Truth can be a bitter pill. Ooh, that's the way it goes. Life will teach you what you need to know. And ooh, like the river flows, life will take you where you need to go. You what you need to know. Ooh, like a river flows, life will take you where you need to go. And ooh, that's the way it goes. Life will teach you what you need to know. And ooh, like a river flows, life will take
I didn't record every ride I went on that day because I did just want to enjoy the ride and experience it. Just like I remember as a kid, when I didn't even think of recording my experiences. And so I didn't record Pirates of the Caribbean, Big Thunder, and Chip 'n Dale's roller coaster. But now that I think about it, I do wish I had recorded the Chip 'n Dale roller coaster. So the next time we're there with my family, I will definitely get a ride POV of that ride. But the next time I go to this park, I will be with my family. and a bunch of kids, and so it will be highly unlikely that I will be able to stay until midnight, until park closing. So I probably won't be able to get as many rides in the last 2 hours as I did my previous 2 trips. So it's a trade-off, I really look forward to sharing the experience of the Disney parks with my family. That will just be a dream come true, especially with my stepson. But, we will have to go at a different pace, and he might not be able to handle some of the rides. I'm not sure he will be able to do the Haunted Mansion and some of the scarier rides in DCA, like Guardians of the Galaxy and the Incredicoaster. But we'll see. He might surprise us. So I was trying to remember another story that I could share of my brother and I in the Disney parks while we were growing up. And I do remember him always being there, but he was a lot younger than us. And so my sister and I would go off and do our own thing while he was almost always with either my father or my mother. And so the strongest memories I have of my brother in Disneyland is of that trip back in January, his last trip to Disneyland. And I spent the entire day with my brother that day, except for in the afternoon when he needed to take a nap. And so he went to the DVC lounge and he rested there. And then I went off and rode a few other rides with the rest of my family. But that trip and us going on Rise of the Resistance for the very first time and trying a Ronto wrap for the very first time and exploring the marketplace, and then us going to Mickey's Toontown and riding on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and us just going into Disneyland for the very first time in such a long time and being on Main Street before the crowds were there. And I just remember that so clearly. But it's hard to convey the intense mix of emotions this place brings up in me. So much joy and sadness. My whole life I could measure by visits to this park. And I recently had a conversation with my husband about trauma, and he was saying, no, it's not trauma, this is life. I think it's both. Most of the time you live life, you just live your day-to-day routine, and most of the time nothing really dramatic happens, and then every now and then life happens and it's marked in your mind forever. And every visit to Disneyland this year has been that way. Every visit has marked something really important in my life. And the next time I go, it'll be another extremely important visit, another marker in my life and in the lives of all my family members. But life is strange. I'm not a philosopher, I'm just an artist. And I'm trying to convey my experience of life through these videos and my artwork. And I hope I'm doing a good job of that here. Just, I miss my brother. I miss my brother. I miss my brother. I miss my brother. And I want to thank him again for being part of my life. And I'm so grateful to Disneyland for being part of my life. That day, back in January, was one of the happiest days I spent with my brother this year. It was one of the last normal days we spent together, where he was able to go out and do things. I am just forever grateful to Disneyland for giving that memory to us. And it was also one of the first happy days I had after my brother's passing and before leaving the States to go back to Argentina. And so for all of that and for future memories I will make there, I am so grateful to Disneyland and the Disney parks for giving us the opportunity to make those memories there. I am forever grateful to these parks for that.
Had a truckload to drink. Now my brain's dead weight.
I know this is a strange video. I'm sorry, I'm not a how to do Disney and theme parks vlogger. I'm just vlogging my life, and this is my experience right now. And I gotta say, as usual, thank you so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing. There is a Buy Me a Coffee link down below. And hope to see you next time. Ciao.
I am yours. Do what you want with me, but don't let me go. You make me feel so unreal. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. You make me feel so unreal. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. We can live a dream. We can be so unreal. Living in high speed. Love is so insane like that.